Good morning. Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, September 12th. This is Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. Welcome. You're welcome to my channel. I sure appreciate you stopping by. If you're liking what you're seeing, please hit like, subscribe, and notification bell. It does help out. It lets YouTube know that people are interested in this kind of content. We're kind of just getting started here, so yeah, I appreciate that. Tell people. If you don't like it, okay. That's why there's so many books out there. We're not for everybody. Let me get rid of this banner. We're going to be looking at the new romances today for this week. And then we'll be probably finishing out our time looking at more cozy mysteries, because there's always a lot of those. I hope you are reading good things. Let me know. And this is on bookriot.com. They're only listing 2 romances for this week. The Second Chance Hotel by Sierra Godfrey. It's all fun and games until you accidentally marry a stranger in Greece and inherit a hotel. It happens every time. Amelia Lang's life is kind of a mess. She's stuck living at home with her narcissistic mother. Her tech bro ex-boyfriend deliberately sabotages her at work, and she gets fired after throwing a mug at his head. It's okay, she missed. Then she has a major falling out with her best friend. So Amelia does what Amelia does best. She runs away. After traveling around Europe for 3 months, because she can afford to do that unemployed, she settles on a small Greek island to reset her life and figure out what's next. But after too much retina, she gets tricked into marrying James, another guest at the hotel, who is perfectly nice but perfectly boring. I have issues. To top it off, they are gifted the very hotel they're staying in, a hotel they don't want that is in desperate need of some TLC. They agree to keep the hotel open through the busy summer season for the sake of the island's quirky but well-meaning residents, after which Amelia plans to return home to start rebuilding her disastrous life. Amelia and James must work together to determine how to get out of their situation. Easier said than done for Amelia, who started to feel a strong spark of attraction for James. But Amelia is sure her real life is waiting for her back in San Francisco. Is it time for Amelia to return home, or could this be the second chance at a new life she didn't know she wanted? I would say that is romance fantasy. It's fiction. It's fiction. Okay. Which of the Wild Things? Raquel Vasquez Gilliland. Fantasy romance. Legend goes that long ago, a Flores woman offended the old gods and their family was cursed as a result. Now every woman born to the family has a touch of magic. Sage Flores has been running from her family and their gifts ever since her younger sister Sky died. 8 years later, Sage reluctantly returns to her hometown. Like slipping into an old, comforting sweater, Sage takes back her job at Cranberry Rose Company and uses her ability to communicate with plants to discover unusual heritage specimens in the surrounding lands. What should be a simple task is complicated by her partner in botany sleuthing, Tennessee Rays. Sage and Tennessee. He broke her heart in high school, and she never fully recovered. Working together is reminding her of all their past tender, genuine moments, and new feelings for this mature, sexy man are starting to take root in her heart. Take root in her heart. With rare plants to find, a dead sister who keeps bringing her coffee. Okay. And another sister whose anger fills the sky with lightning. Sage doesn't have time for romance, but being with 10 is like standing in the middle of a field on the cusp of a summer thunderstorm, supercharged and inevitable. Which of the Wild Things? All right. And that's all they're saying there is for this week in romance on that channel, but we have other websites to check out. Mary, how are you doing? Good morning and happy Tuesday. I'm back from my trip and picked up the girls from the kennel this morning. Oh, I bet they're so happy. Life returns to what passes for normal after a great, fantastic. Hi, Jen. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Ah, glad you guys are here. We're looking at romances. what they're calling romances. I just found this website. Sorry, my hair needs a haircut badly. So this is kind of new to me. Let's figure this one out. That website is called, what is it called? Shereadsromancebooks.com. Says it like it is. This would be fantasy romance. Fall of Ruin and Wrath by Jennifer Ellen Armentrout, a very big name in fantasy. Woo. Long ago, the world was destroyed by gods. Only 9 cities were spared, separated by vast wilderness teeming with monsters and unimaginable dangers. Each city is now ruled by a guardian, royalty, who feed on mortal pleasure. Born with an intuition that never fails, Callista knows her talents are of great value to the super hungry of the world, so she lives hidden as a courtesan of the Baron of Archwood. In exchange for his protection, she grants him information. When her intuition leads her to save a traveling prince in dire trouble, the voice inside her blazes with warning and promise. Today he'll bring her joy. One day he'll be her doom, etc., etc. That's what they call romantasy, that mix of romance and fantasy. And as mentioned, she's a very big name in fantasy. This one looks to be more straightforward romance. Fighting the Pull, a River Rain novel, 5th in series by Kristen Ashley. That's a pretty cover. Hale Wheeler inherited billions from his father. Where are these dads? He's decided to take those resources and change the world for the better. He's married to his mission, so he doesn't have time for love. There's more lurking behind this decision. He hasn't faced the tragic loss of his father or the bitterness of his parents' divorce. He doesn't intend to follow in his father's footsteps, breaking a woman's heart in a way it will never mend. So he vows he'll never marry. But Hale is intrigued when he meets Elsa Cohen, the ambitious celebrity news journalist who has been reporting on his famous family. He warns her off, but she makes him a deal. She'll pull back in exchange for an exclusive interview. Elsa Cohen is married to a career, but she wants love, marriage, children. She also wants the impossibly handsome, fiercely loyal, tender-hearted Hale Wheeler. They go head to head, both denying why there are fireworks every time they meet. But once they understand their undeniable attraction, Elsa can't help but fall for the dynamic do-gooder. As for Hale, he knows he needs to fight the pull of the beautiful, bold, loving Elsa Cohen because breaking her would crush him. Fighting the Pull by Kristen Ashley. Also this week, Salt Kiss. In romance by Sierra Simone, book 1. Tristan Thomas is lost. After leaving the army, the young former soldier is in limbo. Until that is, he's hired by Mark Trevena, the owner of Lioness, DC's ultra-secret club, to be Mark's new bodyguard. He's drawn into Mark's dark, seductive world of power and desire, and slowly drawn to Mark himself, even though Mark is everything Tristan knows he shouldn't want, cruel and wicked and shamelessly immoral. And you can see from there, it's a nice cover, but definitely in the niche that it is going for. The name drop. I'm going through these kind of quickly. By Susan Lee. When Elijah re-arrives in New York City for an internship at his father's massive tech company, Hanuel Corporation, okay. He expects the royal treatment that comes from being the future CEO, even if that's the last thing he wants. But instead, he finds himself shuffled into a group of overworked, unpaid interns, all sharing a shoebox apartment for the summer. When Jessica Lee arrives in New York City, she's eager to make the most of her internship at H Corporation, even if she's at the bottom of the corporate ladder. but she's shocked to be introduced as the new executive and training intern with a gorgeous brownstone all to herself. It doesn't take long for Elijah and Jessica to discover the source of the mistake. They share the same Korean name, but they decide to stay switched so Elijah can have a relaxing summer away from his controlling dad, while Jessica can make the connections she desperately needs for college recommendations. As Elijah and Jessica work together to keep up the charade, a spark develops between them. Can they avoid discovery and total disaster with their feelings and futures on the line? I think I'm far too cynical and jaded to read young adult romance. But there's a market for everybody. This one is saying coming out Thursday, so we'll still look at it. It's this week. Hex in the City by Kate Johnson. Things you should know about Poppy. She's a witch. She has magical hair like Rapunzel from Tangled. We hate her. She lives with Iris, the head of her coven, in a beautiful and ramshackle house next to Highgate Cemetery. She works at Hubble Bubble, a magic shop in Covent Garden, though none of it is real magic, as they would probably be irresponsible until Poppy accidentally sells gorgeous celebrity magician Axel Storm, all 6'4" of him, a cursed pendant. When all hell breaks loose, can the guy with fake magic and the girl with real magic fix the chaos they've caused, or will sparks fly both in and out of the cauldron? That's almost worth checking out. You caught my sense of humor. And the next one listed for coming out on Thursday, Off the Grid by Kay Bromberg. Spencer Riggs is fighting for his name in the elite sport of Formula One. Oh, there's something different. His ultimate dream, a future determined by his past, his legacy. He's passionate, reckless, and unswerving in his pursuit of all things, including me. Camilla Moretti was determined to never return to one thing, Formula One. Shadows had kept her away, but family devotion brought her back. After all, Moretti Motorsports is her legacy. She's dynamic, intelligent, and spectacular, and someone I can't seem to stay away from, nor want to. I have an objective, a lifelong goal, but I might throw it all away for her. Off the Grid is a steamy standalone romance set in the Full Throttle world. Apparently this is known. Okay. I'm not that well versed in romance, but I'm learning. And that is what they're saying. These other ones are for next week, and we can't look at next week. No peeking. All right. Well, let's go back to now. Okay. On this fresh fiction page, I wish there was a way to. They've got a whole mishmash of books that I don't know if they're like the paperback release from a last year's book or what. So that looks like a romance. We'll check that out. I'm With You by Cindy Stark. Under 90 pages. In the quaint town of Aspen, Zoe Cassidy finally finds her dream home, a charming country house with a rich history and a view that steals her heart. But her excitement returns to disbelief when Asher Campbell, a man she can't stand, claims the same house as his own. Both armed with legitimate documents, they become embroiled in a battle for ownership that threatens to leave one of them homeless. As tensions rise, police investigate the baffling case of dual ownership. With neither party willing to back down, Zoe and Asher are forced to coexist under one roof until the truth is uncovered. Sparks fly, emotions run high, and secrets surface, pushing them to confront their feelings and past mistakes. It's a cute cover. But until I figure out a little bit more of how to navigate through there, we will. Let's go back to the cozies because there was a lot of those cozy mysteries. We finished there, so we're going here. Murder Most Royal by S.J. Bennett. Queen Elizabeth II is looking forward to a traditional Christmas gathering with her family in Sandringham when a shocking discovery interrupts holiday plans. A severed hand has been found, but even more unsettling, she recognizes the signet ring still attached to a finger. It belongs to a scion of the Sincere family, her old friends from nearby Ladybridge Hall. Despite the personal connections, the Queen wants to leave the investigation to the police. That is, until newspapers drag her name into the matter. As reporters speculate about the proximity of the crime to the crown and the police fail to investigate a suspicious accident on her doorstep, Elizabeth quietly begins to mull over the mystery herself. With help from her assistant private secretary, Rosie O'Shody, she delves into the interlocking layers of fact and fiction surrounding the high profile case. Someone in the quiet country of Norfolk seems to have a secret worth killing for, and the Queen is determined to find out who and what that is, even if that means discovering that someone in her close circle is a murderer. That's third in this series, which I've not read, but is an interesting concept. You know what they should write from the royal family? Somebody do this. Princess Anne, doesn't she already look like she's dressed for the part? And the way she assesses everything, she is a cool character. I think she'd be a great one for a mystery series. And she was gorgeous when she was younger. Muddy Murder by Stella Bixby, third in series. In the idyllic Irish village, you got me, Irish, of Ballywick, Shayla Murphy is living her dream. With her charming fiance, Seamus, by her side, she's just a week away from the grand opening of the Airlock Castle Hotel, a high-class haven she's been tasked with managing. Just when the finishing touches are being made, unexpected visitors in the form of the richest family in Australia descends upon the not yet open hotel seeking luxurious accommodations. But when a member of the visiting family turns up dead, rude, the grand opening is the least of Shayla's worries. With her keen detective skills and knack for solving murders, can Shayla find the killer in time to save the hotel and her future? Adding to the mayhem, Shayla's estranged mother arrives unannounced, stirring up old family dynamics and secrets that could crack the case wide open or muddy the waters even further. Ireland is one of my keywords that will get my attention. Oh, this is a new Shady Hollow. Okay. Oh, it's a short story. I've not read it, but I am aware of this series. I believe this is the one with the talking animals. The animals are the characters. Um, in the woodlands around Shady Hollow, there's a legend about a mysterious creature known as Creeping Juniper. According to local lore, she's a sort of witch who dwells deep in the woods, casting spells on the shore of Phantom Pond. It's a harmless old tale until a prank goes wrong. When a young creature goes missing, all the clues point to Creeping Juniper. But to solve the mystery and rescue an innocent victim, Vera Vixen and her friends need to find a place that doesn't appear on any maps. Can they discover the location of Phantom Pond before it's too late? So if you are, oh, why is it under there? Because it says September 26th there. If you're in the mood for a fantasy, I'm sorry, yeah, I guess it's kind of fantasy. Definitely cozy mystery series. That's the one for you. Check it out. Talking animals. Well, that one certainly is different. Never heard of the Queen solving mysteries. I agree, Princess Anne would be far more believable. I'm telling you, just look at her. She is detective. Has detective written all over her. Shadows in Sussex by Emma Dakin. Let's go to the Kindle version here. Claire Barkley and her band of tourists are full of enthusiasm for her trip to Sussex and Kent. A tragic death of a young man, the son of the guest house manager, starts the tour. His mother isn't surprised at his death, as she expected he had taken contaminated drugs, a common fate. But the police lab said otherwise. He was murdered. Claire's fiance, Detective Inspector Mark Evans, investigates. Claire is involved and privy to much information. Too much. In spite of her busy life with demanding guests, she discovers the motive for the murder and finds herself in danger. Kind of an understated kind of cover, instead of all the cartoony stuff that we're used to seeing. Sorry, coffee's required. Smith. Needed to wet the whistle. Cottage on Gooseberry Bay by Kathy Daly, 13th in series. Very fall-ish cover. Would help if you guys could see it like that. Okay. Ainsley Holloway had come to Gooseberry Bay to find answers about her past. She'd come to find an explanation for the dreams that haunted her after the death of the cop who'd both rescued and raised her. And she'd come to identify the family she couldn't remember, but knew in her heart she'd once belonged to. Ainsley hoped that by finding these answers, she'd also find healing. She hoped that once she'd resurrected the memories buried deep in her mind, she'd find peace. Cottage at Gooseberry Bay is a series about not only finding answers, but finding hope. It's a series about family and friendship, shared holidays, festivals, and celebrations, shared heartbreak and hardship. Well, it sounds a little deeper than your usual cozy type. Definitely if you're looking for a fall type of... Ooh! The bell rang. All right, Jen. Thanks for coming by. Have a good morning. Have a good Tuesday. I appreciate you coming by. Well, we are out of time, and I need to not dilly-dally gag because we've got a crew leaving at 7, so I have to run things up. But I appreciate you guys so much stopping by. And if you're watching this later, thank you so much for stopping by later. We do this because we want to find out what's out there. You can't read them if you don't know what's out there. Sometimes they surprise you. I've definitely been surprised and interested in what I have found. So be sure to hit like, subscribe, notification bell, tell people. I do have reading sprints tonight at 6:05 Mountain Time, 8:05 Eastern Time, adjust for your time zone. We'll be doing that for 2.5 hours. Bring your own books or work on a project or meditate, whatever you want to do. We'll be listening to some nice calming music. Otherwise, have a beautiful, happy, by choice, no matter what it throws at you, kind of day. And the banner says here, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom nom.